Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Wednesday, May 7th, 2023. Welcome back to my daily vlog. Just a document of my attempt to take content creation from part-time to full-time over the last few months since I was laid off work. And I report to you, and to me, really, how things are going and kind of put things in perspective for, I think mostly for myself, but it's become very collaborative between us, I think. Let's get started with yesterday. And so yesterday was podcast editing day, and about a dozen people popped in and visited. We had several people renew their Amazon Prime, that free Prime sub that are going to be good now for another month. So thank you for those of you that popped in. Much appreciated. You don't have to wait for Tuesday to do that. You can do that anytime. I see it pop up on my notifications and it gives me a little smile every time I see it happen. And then in the afternoon, I got back to editing. So I have the second part of that long form ranking of the Activision titles, which it might sound like I've been editing a lot, and it's because it's not my central focus. It's like when I get everything else down and I'm caught up on social, I'm editing that. And I think I'm going to wrap it up today, and we'll talk about that in just a second. And then in the evening, I had a meeting with a friend that we met here on the vlog, talking about some potential future collaboration and partnership stuff. George and I had a call with that, and that wrapped up the evening. Over the course of yesterday, let's talk quickly about stats. I'm noticing a little uptick over the last few days from the norm. So we talked a lot over the last couple of weeks about how we were coming down off of the huge ramp up in April, and it just kind of was depressing because it kept going down and down and down. It kind of settled to a point that was kind of averaging us around 8,000 views a day, and now it's up around averaging about 10,000 views a day, which is a 25% increase. That's, don't make it's no small thing. But I comparing it to the old numbers it was, but now looking, I'm like, and we're well above our old average. And so with that in traffic is also coming subscribers. We're still over 100 a day. I also remember just as recent as last week, I was talking about, we're around 40 or 50 averaging per day, and that's more than doubled. And that's been true for the last, most of the week, I think, since Monday. And yesterday was no different. And yesterday we broke another 100. So I think when we spoke yesterday, we had just broken, was at 28.1. And today it's 28,200 and I think 20 something last time I looked. One of my favorite things to do each day is between when I record it here and talk about the number, and then I go in the office to edit, and if the number has moved up, and that I'd love when that number doesn't match, it comes over my shoulder, because it's like, look, just between when I said it and now, it's gone up, which is pretty cool. And there's something also really cool about when making 10 subscribers a day or so was kind of used to be the goal a few months ago, and now I wake up in the morning and we're already 10 or 20 deep, and I'm like, it's gonna be a good day. Let's talk about today. Speaking of good days, nothing big on the calendar except the end of the day is capped off. I say nothing big, meaning nothing scheduled, other than I cap off the day by recording with 1980s Now. So that's the only thing scheduled in my day. So what I have planned to do today, two primary things. One is I would like to generate another short video, because I haven't done one of those in a couple of days. And then I want to, I would like to finish editing that long form Activision. The target is to release it on Friday. If I can get it ready and put it out, I might even do it as a premiere on Friday, because it's been a while since I've done a premiere, and I have one ready that will be ready early enough that I could schedule it and be meaningful. So those are just the two things I hope to get done today. Peripherally, other stuff is we have GenXGrownUp podcast recordings Friday, so I have a little bit of prep work to do, just writing some teases and stuff like that, gathering listener email. I try to spread that out over a few days. I also have to wrap up the publishing of the podcast we did yesterday, attach the artwork and stuff like that. I'll get all that done, and that'll pretty well fill up my today. I want to real briefly at the end of the video talk about an action that I took yesterday that it was like pulling a trigger that I really didn't want to pull, and then I feel better about pulling it ultimately. So we talked some months ago, it feels like months, I don't know, weeks, maybe what it was, about as we're getting more popularity and more traffic, we started attracting some real vile, comments in the videos. And I always think back to my buddy Tom, who he always commented. He never understood like hyper negative comments in videos, because he always says, I don't have time to comment on the stuff I like. How are people finding time to dedicate so much time to something that they hate? And so in general, and this is not going to be me putting up a picture of somebody's comment or anything. I've literally wiped this commenter off the face of our channel. But effectively, I don't mind comments that are critical. Critical of, hey, I don't agree with that, or I don't think that's right, or I disagree. All that's good, and I never squash that. In fact, that's engagement. Somebody comments and you talk to them, they come back and you talk more. That's more traffic on a video, and that's good. And but sometimes you run across somebody who's just super vile. They're just angry and they want to be hateful, and I try to combat it. Like, I don't so much care what they think of my comment, but I think about if someone else visits, how will they see me react to this comment? So maybe that will paint the picture, because someone else rational will see, wow, this guy was raging. Oh, and look, and John just kind of came back and said, sorry you feel that way, and he wasn't didn't engage. But there was a comment, actually, my friend Aaron was kind of trying to engage this guy, and basically I said a couple things that were not 100% accurate. And this might surprise you, I make mistakes all the time. I research as best I can, but sometimes when I talk extemporaneously, I'll go, that game on such and such, whatever. And really, it wasn't on there. That game was never on that platform or something. I make mistakes when I'm kind of, going off the cuff. Anyway, and look, there's nothing wrong with pointing out my mistakes. Again, that's engagement. But it was this kind of like, I didn't even remember it all. I sort of purged it, but he's talking about, you're a poser and you're fake and you're whatever. And I'm like, for mistakes I made, I'm not the authority he wanted. So I kind of came back and tried to explain a little bit, and it just got more vicious. It wasn't like any kind of a, pump the brakes and kind of understanding. It was just like, this just proves what a fake or whatever you are. Look, as I develop a thicker skin about this stuff, and I was talking to my friend last night, and he was like, the more popular you're going to get, the more those people are going to come out of the woodwork. And I'm like, you're right. And in general, I never delete comments. I never block people or anything. But I saw this one commenter just be so vicious, not just to me, but to other commenters who, were kind of trying to defend me, and they just came back and attacked even more, to the point that I don't need that negativity. Either see it in my feed. I don't need other people to see it. It's fine to be critical, but I don't have room for that kind of hate. I have a goal I'm trying to get done, and so I use the feature in YouTube that's called Hide This User from Channel. And what it does is he can still see my stuff, he can still comment, but that information is he's just screaming into the void because it doesn't get posted, it doesn't get saved, and he can be as rageaholic as he wants. No one's going to have to engage with him because he doesn't appear. Prior to now, I'd only use that feature for obvious spam bots or somebody whose name was, I love Hitler or something. It had to be truly vicious or obviously, a bot that was just spamming kind of thing. But this is the first time I've done that to an actual commenter. And it wasn't a single event. It was a string of comments and stuff. So I just bring all that up to say, I'm happy that I did that. I've had a lot of trepidation about doing it because I felt like a slippery slope, but I don't think it is. I think nothing in 6 years has warranted it until just the other day. And I don't feel bad about it anymore. It was more of I was embarrassed to have this kind of hate on a video of mine, and deleting didn't seem like enough because I knew that this commenter would come back and start screaming at me about the fact that his comment was deleted. So I'd rather him just scream into the ether and make himself happy, and then neither I nor my commenters or my followers or people that visit have to deal with that. So again, I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but in hindsight, in the light of day today, I'm pretty glad that I did it because I think it was the right choice. Not going to start censoring and banning people, but I think just being the friendly channel who lets everything is fine has got to, you get to a certain point, you have to think more about what other people are going to see, not just whether or not it hurts my feelings. So Hey, that's the quick update. What's going on? What's been happening since the other day? It's time for me to get busy on this hump day. I want to thank you so much for stopping in to check out today's vlog. If that's what you did, if you're here every day, you know I love you for that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a good Wednesday. Do something good for yourself if you can. I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.